Everyone. We're going to get started soon. I just wanted to say welcome. And if you want to, you can drop in the chat what organization you're with or what project you're going to be working on. I have everyone on mute for now, but we will have a Q&A session at the end, and we'll also be recording this today. So we'll post this on YouTube and the website afterwards. So if you need to refer back, and we'll have a brief Q&A at the end. But if something doesn't get addressed, I know I noticed a couple people on here that I owed some answers to, and I didn't have your emails. So anyone that wants to follow up with me, please follow up at the email info at specialprojectsgrant.com, and I will put that in the chat. Hi. Everyone. Thank you, everyone, for logging in. We're going to take a couple minutes to let more people pop on the call. Everyone is muted for the moment, but if you feel like it, please drop in the chat what organization you're with or what project you're working on. I also put my email in the chat, so if something doesn't get addressed or you think of something later, please feel free to email me. And we are recording today's call, and we will put this on the website for future reference. And just to let you know, for transparency, any questions we'll post afterwards as well. So hopefully that is helpful. But we'll give people a few more minutes to get logged in, and then we'll get started. Thank you all for joining us. Can everyone hear me and see my screen? You can drop a yes or no in the chat. Great. I'm glad you guys can see me. I see some familiar faces on here. Hi, Stephanie. I love that. Sounds like a cool project. I think we got a few more people. Oh, Dayton Printmakers. I think you all have participated in this before. Gretchen. Oh, wonderful. Nicolin. That's wonderful. Thanks again to everyone popping in. While we're waiting for a couple people to pop on, I just want to kind of show you the website. So it's real simple. It's specialprojectsgrant.com. I've tried to put as much information on here as possible, and I've actually added a couple things from our first session. So if you were here for April 1st session, we had some questions come up. So I've added some additional links onto the website. So if you scroll down, we have a simple about. This link will take you to the Montgomery County Arts and Cultural District website. They are the ones that are providing this funding and making this grant possible, which is amazing. So you can learn more about the Montgomery County Arts and Cultural District at this link here. This just gives you an example of some of the projects that we're funding. So we're really looking for things that are arts and culture related that are going to make an impact in the community. So these are just some examples. And this link right here takes you to some past projects. It's not a complete list. We're still updating, but there's some photos and some lists of past recipients. So kind of gives you some examples. This gives you kind of an overview if you forget or need to know who is eligible for this grant and some timeline information. These links right here, this is our comprehensive guidelines. So definitely download that if you can and look over that if you have questions. I added from the April 1st an eligible expenses download. There's a lot of questions about eligible expenses. So this is a little one-page cheat sheet for you. And then where it says listen to session one, that's a link to YouTube. And then after today's call right here, we will have a listen to session two link to YouTube as well. If you scroll down, there's a link to apply. And then this button right here, apply here, will take you to the EC Impact system. And that is where you will enter all your information. We'll go over that in more detail later in the call. And there is a link to an application preview, so a downloadable PDF, if you want to look that over right here. And that's in addition to after our April 1st call, we added that. Questions, here is my email again. And then this link will take you to a facts page, so some common questions. So hopefully the website helps guide you if you have any questions coming up. And hopefully we've got everybody and we'll get started. Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to get started. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to see so many people who are interested in grant funding from the Montgomery County Arts and Cultural District. People taking time out of their day to learn about this really demonstrates your commitment to arts and culture. And so I'm so excited for you to join us. I am Libby Ballingy. I am the grant administrator with my company, Venus Child Productions, and I am administering this grant on behalf of Montgomery County Arts and Cultural District. Just some quick logistics. Please stay muted, use the chat, and again, we will have a formal Q&A at the end. And again, I am recording this, so we'll post this for future reference. Let's see. Since we did have the April 1st meeting and we talked about some of the basics of this grant, I'm going to brush over that a bit, but we're going to get a little bit more into the application, EC impact, and the budget. So if you have other questions, there's a lot of information online, but feel free to ask anything specifically at the end. So just to kind of do a brief overview, again, this is the Montgomery County Arts and Cultural District. It is a county body that invests in arts and cultural and heritage work throughout Montgomery County. The Special Projects Grant launched in 2020 and has supported many organizations over the county. This cycle, we have a $275,000 budget with awards up to $15,000, which is the highest award in the program history. One thing I do want to mention as an exception, this is an important kind of caveat to this cycle. So traditionally, this grant has taken place from projects that go from July 1st to June 30th. We are going to be transitioning to a calendar schedule, so January to December. So just for this one time, we are doing a special 18-month window. So the projects can happen anytime between July 1st, 2026 through all of 2027, December 31st, 2027. And then we'll be on a January to December calendar cycle moving forward. So that being said, if you happen to have a project that occurred, the same project, the same event that happens twice within that 18 months, you can apply for up to $20,000 in funding. So that has to be the same event that's happening twice during that 18-month cycle. And that's just a one-time bump because we are doing this calendar transition. So I hope that makes sense. There is no letter of intent this cycle. You'll just go straight to the full application. And this is a competitive merit-based process reviewed by an independent panel. Who can apply? It's small to medium-sized nonprofits. Emerging organizations are welcome. There is no 3-year history requirement. And if you received funding in the past, there is no award restriction. If that was communicated to you in the past, that is not applicable this cycle too. So anyone's applicable to apply. If you are part of a collective or an unincorporated organization, you can apply with a qualified 501c3 fiscal agent. I do want to mention that this project must benefit Montgomery County residents and occur in Montgomery County. And you can apply one application per organization, one application per project. And let's see, anything within arts and culture is applicable. Visual arts, performing arts, literary arts, arts education, cultural heritage, like folk and traditional arts, and anything that's sort of multi arts. So like a festival where there's arts and performing happening. And the scoring criteria will be based on the project quality and artistic vibrancy, the community impact and engagement, and the ability to complete and manage the project. I'm going to open it up just for just a quick moment, just to see if we have any questions briefly at this point. Anyone want to drop anything in the chat? Let me know if you have any questions at this point, but I will move on to the EC impact and application and budget information. Anyone have any questions so far? Okay. Let's see. I'm going to show you, I'm going to move on from the website. Hopefully you all get a chance to look at the website. I'm going to change which screen I'm sharing. Hi, so you're looking for the eligible list on the website. I'll pull that back up. And I will reshare that for you. And I'll go back over this in case we had some folks joining us late. This is the website right here, specialprojectsgrant.com. And right here is information about the Montgomery County Arts and Cultural District. Just some examples of what types of projects are funded. This is our past project link just for reference. And right here is sort of a lot of meat and potatoes. This who should apply, funding, and timeline at a glance. The guidelines are right here, and the eligible expenses cheat sheet is right here. So hopefully that helps you. The info sessions are right here. So you can listen to the first one on YouTube, and then this will turn into a link after our call to today's recording. How to apply, the application link is here. The application preview is right underneath it. And we do have a fax at the very bottom. So I hope that helps. Okay, thank you. I'll check that link. It says it needs access to view it. I'll check that link and make sure we get a good link on there. And I'll update that after the call. Thank you for letting me know that. Okay, I'm going to show you all some information from EC Impact. Let me get that in there. All right. Here. Share. All right, can everyone see here now? This is some information about the EC Impact System. And if you have any specific questions, again, please feel free to reach out to me. So you are going to apply through the Montgomery County's vendor portal. It is called EC Impact. And again, that's linked on the website. You are going to complete a create an agency profile. So that's the absolute first thing that you need to do. Couple notes about that. If you do not have an EIN number, you can use a phone number. That's totally fine for newer and more emerging organizations. If you are using Dayton Foundation as a fiscal agent, please contact Liz at Montgomery County Arts and Cultural District to help you get that set up. And I will drop her email in the link. That's just one little thing that we have to do a workaround. Take your time when you're entering the agency setup information. if you put in some incorrect information, it could possibly lock you out. And again, Liz would be the one that could help you with that. I will put, again, her email in the chat. So if you have any problems with getting set up as an agency, please reach out to her. You're going to set up a program name that should match your project name. So program and project are equal. And I do want to mention that multiple team members can access the application at the same time. I do want to mention that if you work on the same field at the same time, you could overwrite each other. So just make sure if you're working on it at the same time, you're not working on the same section at the same time. So, but the agency does allow multiple user accounts. So when you get in, it's going to ask you to participate in an open RFP process, and you are going to click this. This PDF was made based on a former project, but you are going to click on the special projects grant for 2026-2027 when you get into EC Impact. A couple things you want to note is that you'll complete the registration here, kind of going through this slideshow here. A couple notes, you're going to the system will autosave, but as you go through this, you are going to want to, this is an example of one of the projects. So this is what the project screen is going to look like for you. You are going to want to, this is the agency information right here. And a couple of notes about this. Let me look on my computer real quick. There was a couple fields that were a little bit tricky, so I wanted to call those out. Let me find my notes real quick. When you see, let's see it on here. Sorry, guys. Let me find my notes real quick. There was a field that was causing a little bit of confusion. I'll come back to it, but it is an optional field. So let's see. So this is how you're going to put in your program name. Going to keep flipping through here for you. And this is where you're going to upload planning documents. So let me stop and go through a couple of notes. The system will autosave, but you do want to save your work regularly. You can download a Word planning version to draft and collaborate outside of the portal. The narrative boxes can be resized. So as you're working, if you need more space, just pull the bottom arrow key and that will help you. Let's see. Kind of flipping through this fast, sorry. Character counts include spaces, and those appear at the bottom of each box. So in this slide, you can see up to 500 characters, 0 used. And here's where you're going to click and drag the lines at the bottom to resize the narrative boxes if you need those to be bigger. You can paste from Word if you're working on this in Word, but use as plain text to avoid formatting issues. Each page must be marked complete at the bottom before you can submit. So please don't skip this. Incomplete applications will not be accepted. And a reminder that the hard deadline is May 1st at 4 p.m. Again, EC Impact technical issues can be addressed to Liz, and I'll drop her email in. So let me go back. Let me start back through this slideshow and talk through this a little bit more. So you're going to participate in an open RFP process. You're going to select the special projects grant for 2026-2027. You are going to complete registration and continue. And make sure that the agency associated, you're going to start your program here. You're going to select a program. and you're ready to start writing your grant from here. Your planning documents, any of your supporting documentation, whether that's resumes, marketing materials, can be uploaded. And this is where you would download the Word document for drafting responses and collaborating outside the community vendor portal. And again, all forms must be marked as complete to submit. These little question marks will pop up, and you can hover and click over there for tips on how to fill out the application as you go. And again, here's the characters and the little caret that you can increase the boxes. And budget tips, you can click on anything that's has a hyperlink and add new items from there. So this is a quick overview that Liz was able to provide for me, which is super helpful. But I know you'll have a lot more questions, so we'll kind of get into some more in our Q&A section. But I just wanted to share this tip sheet from Liz. And before I stop sharing, I just want to show you real quick. This is the eligible and ineligible cheat sheet that I'll fix the link on the website. But this is something a one pager that you can download that gives you more information. And this is you can also download the entire application for your reference from the website. And this gives you a really nice overview of the qualifying questions that are going to start you out in the application process. And you can just follow right along here and then fill it in EC Impact. So I'm just kind of scrolling here so you see some of the information. And then you're going to get into a project overview and your project narrative. So describing to us what it is you plan to do, how it's going to impact the community, your project implementation and timeline, your personnel that you're planning to use, and how this is going to impact the community. We do like to make sure that because this is county funded with taxpayer money, that everything is ADA compliant. So you'll want to talk about accessibility and inclusion, how you're going to promote and market your project, and how you're specifically going to use the Montgomery County Arts and Cultural District grants. And it's nice to point out if you have any funding reduction contingencies. So if you do not receive the full amount that you're asking for, how you would update the project, or could the project still happen if you got a lesser amount, and anyone that you're collaborating with. And this is where you would upload your supporting documentation, which includes your IRS letter of determination, or your fiscal agent letter of agreement, any resumes, marketing materials, and artistic samples. And any letters of commitment are optional, but really helpful. And then we get into the budget. So I can answer any questions about that. One common question that came up about the budget was if you were doing a series, you would want to do one combined budget for a series of events. And then you would just do one final report at the end as well. So this is really helpful, and this is downloadable from the website. So you can work through this before doing this in EC Impact if that's helpful to you. And that's just a little checklist at the end to make sure you filled out everything correctly. Before we get into Q&A, I'm going to stop sharing here just for a second. And I just want to mention a few additional things. Key eligible expenses are artist fees, instructor fees, consultant fees, venue rentals, project supplies and materials, marketing materials, security costs, and food and beverage only if it's actually part of the project, like a cultural festival or a culinary demo. Not eligible are prizes, cash awards, raffle items. I know that came in up in the last call. General hospitality, like for volunteers or staff. Capital equipment purchases. Rental is okay. Fundraising events, revenue replacement, or regranting is not eligible. And any activities that are outside Montgomery County or outside the July 1 to December 31st, 2027 window. Nonprofits, there is no match required, but if you are with a college, university, municipality, or government agency, there is a one-to-one um, match required. So hopefully that's helpful. Um, we will be reviewing the applications in May, and then we will announce winners in June. And post award, a final report is required at the end of your 30 days after your project is completed. And you may be invited to give a short presentation to the Montgomery County Arts and Cultural Board. If you're willing to, it's completely optional, just to show them the impact of your project and just to let them know how the money was spent. A lot of times these projects kind of happen and they don't hear about it. So it's wonderful to be able to report back to them in kind of a fun way. So kind of almost like a Pecha Kucha style slideshow. But that's totally optional. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of an overview. I know the EC impact is a little bit hard to like get in the nitty gritty of, but I want to see if anyone has any questions at this point, and I will um, unmute you. Um, Lee, your question, if we've applied before, is our EC impact still active or do we need to create a new account? Your account should be active. If you have any questions or it seems like it's not, please email us. But you should still have an active account. Let me see here real quick. About the optional support letters, are there a preferred format? Yes, you are going to collect and upload them yourself. I believe PDF is probably the best. Um, yeah, thank you. Okay, I think you should be able to unmute yourself if anyone has any questions at this point. If you want to raise your hand or use the chat. Yeah, hi Dan. I don't feel like I can hear you. I don't think you're muted though. Hmm. I'll see if there's something on my end that's causing you not to be able to talk. Hmm. I still can't hear you. Okay, try again, Diane. Hmm. Sorry, I guess I might have to have you type it out, Diane. Okay, or just email me. Sorry about that. Um, Satira, Provider name is the project. So your agency name is going to be the name of the nonprofit or organization. And then your project name is whatever the event or project is going to be called. Letter of intent is not needed for this cycle. Hi, Sotera. Yes, I can repeat what's eligible. And I'm going to do a screen share on that so you all can see here. I'll pull that up. Let's see. If I can make that screen share for you. Oops, sorry, guys. Oh, I think I closed it accidentally. Let me try again. There we go. So eligible expenses are any artist or performer fees, instructor or consultant fees, project personnel, food and beverages only if it is a direct project component, your marketing and promotional materials, venue rental, equipment rental, project supplies and materials, and security costs only if it is reasonable and tied to the funding of the project. So what would not be eligible would be any capital expenditures or equipment purchases. This is not meant to be a fundraising event or to support just general hospitality for volunteers and staff. Um, Religious activities or political advocacy is not eligible. That being said, a place of worship could be a potential venue. Um, it cannot replace your lost revenue or re-granting or anything that happens outside of Montgomery County or the date of the window. Does that help explain?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we got off mute. Diane, I think we're off mute. So um, but I'll read your question. So we do have a longer window this time. And so there may be some events that are not going to happen until, like, let's say fall of 2027. So a lot of these costs and specific performers may not all be ironed out yet. That is completely fine. You can give us your best estimate or estimate, talk to the venue and get an estimate or, base it on, previous events and that kind of thing, or even give us an example of, let's say, these are past artists that we've worked with, or this is an example of things we've done in the past. The exact programming or the exact pricing, still has to maybe get flushed out. That's completely fine. And especially more understandable with this long window. So you don't have to have every detail ironed out for the application. If you can give us like your overall budget, the overall vision, and that it seems realistic for it to, you know, occur. It's not, we're like pie in the sky kind of thing. Like just showing us that you've done your homework and we know. But especially for some projects that are not going to happen until 2027, we completely understand that, artists and venues and contractors may not all be booked yet. So your best estimate with some, collaborating information would be wonderful. So I hope that that helps. Um, so I would just say anyone's resumes, Satira, am I saying your name right? I'm so sorry. Um, for resumes to add, I think it's just any key players to just kind of show the panelists that you've had any kind of experience with this project, any kind of, you don't have to have years of experience, but I think just anything that helps to demonstrate to the panelists that you know what you're doing, that the project will occur. That's our biggest thing, is that you can demonstrate that you're able to execute the project. So any kind of resumes from help from people on your team that can help us establish that is really helpful.
Okay, so my name is Shatira.
Shatira, thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah. Also, where it says website, yes, honey. Where it says website, is it okay
Mhm.
if we put like Facebook pages there?
That's completely fine.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. You should be able to submit videos um, in the supporting documents, Tamiko. Feel free to follow up with me in my email, and I can send that. I can verify with Liz and make sure, like, if there's like an upload limit. There could be an upload limit on what file sizes. So if so, I would say maybe you can link to YouTube um, if your video is too large to upload. Does that help and answer your question? Yeah, I think there is a limit on file sizes on the supporting documentation. So yeah, I think if anything's really large, you might want to just downsize photographs or anything that could be a little on the larger side, just to make sure it uploads okay.
And is this grant available for people who have never done this event before? Like, this is our first time doing this type of festival.
It
Um,
is. I think it's just helpful if you have organized any kind of event or done any kind of project like this in the past, whether it's with this organization or not. If there's anything that you can kind of show, this is how we've, executed projects in the past. This is a new idea. But just demonstrating that the team has had experience doing something similar, or what kind of support, if it's completely new, if you have anyone like supporting the project that can help in certain ways. I think the biggest thing is that the panelists are looking for clarity and community impact, and they just want to know that if given the money, that the project can be realistically executed.
okay, you said community impact. Okay,
Yes.
so like for instance, we have traveled to like different states and done like dance competitions. Are, the fact that we've done events in the past that has been successful, is that something we will add into the application somewhere, or is that something that they will just like go look at our um website and look for?
I absolutely think that you should include that in the application. And that's the kind of thing that you could upload in your supporting documents of examples of some of the dance competitions and events that you've been associated with in the past. Does that help?
Yes, this is my first time doing this. They're like,
Yeah.
we need to do it, we need to do it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll try. Like,
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, definitely feel free to email me with anything specific as you're doing the application, and I'd be happy to help.
okay, I surely will.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions? We have a little bit of time.
What about like t-shirts, volunteer t-shirts, that, shirts for the events to say like, because usually what we do is we have like people and we say, hey, if you see someone with a pink shirt on there, you can just ask them for help or ask them where to go or, stuff like that. Is t-shirts for the event and eligible expense?
Um, I think it depends on how the t-shirts are being used. Potentially I can like double check with Liz on that one. So feel free to put that in an email. I think that in general, keeping the costs based on like the sort of arts and cultural side um, of the project is good. I know one project in the past, the t-shirts were kind of part of the like almost part of the project in like sort of an artistic way, like the art was on t-shirts. So I think if it's kind of directly tied to the mission of the project, but feel free to email me and I can kind of do a deep dive on that with Liz and just make sure that I'm not misrepresenting that. I appreciate that question. Anyone else have any questions? Budget questions, anything like that?
What were the requirements? Heard you say something about a 1-to-1 for the 501c3s.
That's only if you are with a college or like an educational or government agency.
Okay.
Yeah. Diane, I'll double check on that as well. Feel free to send me an email. I don't believe so. Um, but I'll check on that for you, Diane. And all of these are great questions. So again, after our April 1st session, Liz recommended that some of these questions we'll add to our facts on the website so that anybody can reference them. And so they're out there. So I appreciate the question.
Okay, one more thing. On the first page of the community portal, you said provider name is the project name.
Provider name. I believe it's program name.
Because down at the bottom it says company, and I would assume that's where we would put the business name. So at the top it
Um,
says provider name.
you know what? Send me a screenshot of what you're looking at, and I'll help you with that.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I'm looking at the right screen with you.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there a form letter for fiscal agents to sign? Or they make up their. There's not a form letter, but you do want to have some sort of agreement. This one's for Leanne. Um, that shows that they're willing to be your fiscal agent. Feel free to email me and I can kind of send you some more exact verbiage. Um, but there needs to be a clear connection between your project and organization and the fiscal agent. Um, so that's one thing to just kind of consider with the fiscal agent aspect, um, if that makes sense for Leanne. And I'll add to our facts question if there's anything specific that we need to include on that fiscal agent agreement. Yeah, awesome. I'll double check with Liz at Montgomery County and just see if there's anything she recommends that you include. Thus far, it's just like a letter of agreement, but that's a good question. I'll make sure we add that to our facts. Any other questions? These have been great questions. I really appreciate. I've built the website and the facts, and then as these questions have come up, I'm like adding to it, so it's helping others as well. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, I really appreciate everyone's time. Um, Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna, like I said, I'll put the this recording session on YouTube, and I will, just to make sure that I'm not um misanswering anything, I will double check with Liz and Jessica at Montgomery County, and we'll update the facts and the guidelines so that everybody has clear answers moving forward. But please, anything that comes up, I really, really would love for you to email. I'm going to put Liz's email and my email again in the chat, so it's up at the top. And let me grab that for everyone. Yeah, thank you all. This is I'm new to the special projects grant myself, and I just really appreciate everyone's support and patience. You guys have been amazing. So let me give you Liz's email real quick, and I will give you mine as well. Oops. Okay, our emails are in there. Liz, you're going to want to contact again if Dayton Foundation is your fiscal agent, or if you come up with any technical issues in EC Impact. She's the one that runs that and understands all the back end and can work with you. And then any general questions, or if you're just unsure of who to contact, please default to me, which is info@specialprojectsgrant.com. And I'm really excited to see everybody's projects. We've had a ton of interest, and I'm just really happy. Sorry, my dog's getting impatient with me. Um, I'm really excited to review everyone's project, and I'm just really thankful for Montgomery County Arts and Culture for providing this funding, and to the Dayton Foundation, who is our fiscal agent. So both of those organizations are doing such great work in the community, and really appreciate them. So if you have any other questions, again, email us, but I really appreciate everyone's time. You all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening.